绿设计是责任。那谈到这种题目，大家都会觉得会不会很无聊？我保证你这一段大概不会很无聊。为什么？他是这位先生讲的，他叫做 John Doerr。那你看他是谁呢？他是矽谷的投资家，他的公司叫做这个KPCB。他也是奥巴马在今年这个聘他做这个顾问团的成员之一。这个顾问团是做什么的呢？就是恢复美国经济，恢复美国的经济活力。大家都知道美国经济是很惨，现在今天早上我看到《华尔街日报》，美国的失业率已经达到10%，意思就是100个人有10个人没有职业，100个该上班的人有10个没有办法上班，是这么严重哦。所以这个要把美国救起来，恐怕是奥巴马的一个非常辛苦的一件事情。不过我们今天不谈奥巴马，我们谈的是这位矽谷投资家。这个影片他谈的是绿设计的救赎跟获利，就是 Salvation and Profit in Green Tech。那 Green Technology 就是绿色的科技。他认为在这里面，如果我们去走绿色的 technology 这个路，不只是对于人类对自己做错的事情的忏悔，其实你这样做，你也会获得利益。因为他是一个投资家，他看得很清楚，他觉得如果没有利益的事情，大家一定不肯做。所以如果有人说你4个小时看电视剧跟4个小时念书，如果有人告诉你说你把它电视剧少2小时，那个6小时，然后你会得到什么获利？说不定那个你就会想比较容易放弃嘛，对不对？他就是希望设计这些概念，去让大家愿意走到绿色的设计上面去。我们先来看一下他怎么说。他说到最后自己哭，所以这个也是让我觉得有点吃惊的。
I'm really scared. I don't think we're going to make it. Probably by now, most of you have seen Al Gore's amazing talk. Shortly after I saw that, we had some friends over for dinner with the family. The conversation turned to global warming, and everybody agreed there's a real problem. We've got a climate crisis. So we went round the table to talk about what we should do. The conversation came to my 15-year-old daughter, Mary. She said, I agree with everything that's been said. I'm scared and I'm angry. And then she turned to me and said, Dad, your generation created this problem. You better fix it. Wow. All the conversation stopped. All the eyes turned to me. I didn't know what to say. Kleiner's second law is there is a time when panic is the appropriate response. And we've reached that time. We cannot afford to underestimate this problem. We face irreversible and catastrophic consequences. We must act, and we must act decisively. I got to tell you, for me, everything changed that evening. And so my partners and I, we set off on this mission to learn more and to try to do much more. So we mobilized, we got on airplanes, we went to Brazil, we went to China and to India, to Bentonville, Arkansas, to Washington, D.C., and to Sacramento. And so what I'd like to do now is tell you about what we've learned in those journeys. Because the more we learned, the more concerned we grew. You know, my partners at Kleiner and I were compulsive networkers, and so when we see a big problem or an opportunity, like avian flu or personalized medicine, we just get together the smartest people we know. For this climate crisis, we assembled a network really of superstars, from policy activists to scientists and entrepreneurs and business leaders, 50 or so of them. And so I want to tell you about what we've learned in doing that and 4 lessons I've learned in the last year. The first lesson is that companies are really powerful, and that matters a lot. This is a story about how Walmart went green and what that means. 2 years ago, the CEO, Lee Scott, believed that green is the next big thing. And so Walmart made going green a top priority. They committed that they're going to take their existing stores and reduce their energy consumption by 20%, and their new stores by 30%, and do all that in 7 years. The 3 biggest uses of energy in a store are heating and air conditioning, then lighting, and then refrigeration. So look what they did. They painted the roofs of all of their stores white. They put smart skylights through their stores so they could harvest the daylight and reduce the lighting demands. And third, they put the refrigerated goods behind closed doors with LED lighting. I mean, why would you try to refrigerate a whole store? These are really simple, smart solutions based on existing technology. Why does Walmart matter? Well, it's massive. They're the largest private employer in America. They're the largest private user of electricity. They have the second largest vehicle fleet on the road. And they have one of the world's most amazing supply chains, 60,000 suppliers. If Walmart were a country, it would be the 6th largest trading partner with China. And maybe most important, they have a big effect on other companies. When Walmart declares it's going to go green and be profitable, it has a powerful impact on other great institutions. So let me tell you this, when Walmart achieves 20% energy reductions, that's going to be a very big deal. But I'm afraid it's not enough. We need Walmart and every other company to do the same. The second thing that we learned is that individuals matter, and they matter enormously. I've got another Walmart story for you, okay? Walmart has over 125 million US customers. That's a third of the US population. 65 million compact fluorescent light bulbs were sold last year. And Walmart has committed they're going to sell another 100 million light bulbs in the coming year. But it's not easy. Consumers don't really like these light bulbs. The light's kind of funny, they won't dim. It takes a while for them to start up. But the payoff is really enormous. 100 million compact fluorescent light bulbs means that we'll save $600 million in energy bills and 20 million tons of CO2 every year, year in and year out. It does seem really hard to get consumers to do the right thing. It is stupid that we use 2 tons of steel, glass, and plastic to haul our sorry selves to the shopping mall. It's stupid that we put water in plastic bottles in Fiji and ship it here. It's hard to change consumer behavior because consumers don't know how much this stuff costs. Do you know? Do you know how much CO2 you generated to drive here or fly here? I don't know, and I should. Those of us who care about all this would act better if we knew what the real costs were. But as long as we pretend that CO2 is free, as long as these uses are nearly invisible, how can we expect change? I'm really afraid because I think the kinds of changes we can reasonably expect from individuals are going to be clearly not enough. The third lesson we learned is that policy matters. It really matters. In fact, policy is paramount. I've got a behind-the-scenes story for you about that green tech network I described. At the end of our first meeting, we got together to talk about what the action items would be, how we'd follow up. And Bob Epstein raised a hand. He stood up. You know, Bob's that Berkeley techie type who started Sybase. Well, Bob said the most important thing we can do right now is to make it clear in Sacramento, California, that we need a market-based system of mandates that's going to cap and reduce greenhouse gases in California. It's necessary and just as important, it's good for the California economy. So 8 of us went to Sacramento in August, and we met with the 7 undecided legislatures, and we lobbied for AB 32. You know what? 6 of those 7 voted yes in favor of the bill, so it passed. And it passed by a vote of 47 to 32. Please. Oh. Thank you. I think it's the most important legislation of 2006. Why? because California was the first state in this country to mandate 25% reduction of greenhouse gases by 2020. And the result of that is we're going to generate 83,000 new jobs, $4 billion a year in annual income, and reduce the CO2 emissions by 174 million tons a year. California, it's only 7% of US CO2 emissions. It's only 1.5% of the country's CO2 emissions. It's a great start, but I got to tell you, where I started, I'm really afraid. In fact, I'm certain California's not enough. Here's a story about national policy that we could all learn from. You know, Tom Friedman says, if you don't go, you don't know. Well, we went to Brazil to meet Dr. Jose Goldenberg. He's the father of the ethanol revolution. He told us that Brazil's government mandated that every gasoline station in the country would carry ethanol. And they mandated that their new vehicles would be flex fuel compatible, right? They'd run ethanol or ordinary gasoline. And so here's what's happened in Brazil. They now have 29,000 ethanol pumps. That's versus 700 in the US, and a paltry 2 in California. And in 3 years, their new car fleet has gone from 4% to 85% flex fuel. Compare that to the US. 5% are flex fuel. And you know what? Most consumers who have them don't even know it. So what's happened in Brazil is they've replaced 40% of the gasoline consumed by their automotive fleet with ethanol. That's $59 billion since 1975 that they didn't ship to the Middle East. It's created 1 million jobs inside that country, and it's saved 32 million tons of CO2. It's really substantial. That's 10% of the CO2 emissions across their entire country. But Brazil's only 1.3% of the world's CO2 emission. So Brazil's ethanol miracle, I'm really afraid, is not enough. In fact, I'm afraid all of the best policies we have are not going to be enough. The fourth and final lesson we learned is about the potential of radical innovation. So I want to tell you about a tragic problem and a breakthrough technology. Every year, 1.5 million people die of a completely preventable disease. That's malaria. 6,000 people a day. All for want of $2 worth of medications that we could buy at the corner drugstore. Well, $2 is too much for Africa. So a team of Berkeley researchers with $15 million from the Gates Foundation is designing a radical new way to make the key ingredient called artemisinin. And they're going to make that drug 10 times cheaper. And in doing so, they'll save 1 million lives, at least 1 million lives a year, 1 million lives. Their breakthrough technology is synthetic biology. This leverages millions of years of evolution by redesigning bugs to make really useful products. What you do is you get inside the microbe, you change its metabolic pathways, and you end up with a living chemical factory. Now you may ask, John, what has this got to do with green and with climate crisis? Well, I'll tell you a lot. They've now formed a company called Amyris, and this technology that they're using can be used to make better biofuels. Don't let me skip over that. Better biofuels are a really big deal. That means we can precisely engineer the molecules in the fuel chain and optimize them along the way. So if all goes well, they're going to have designer bugs in warm vats that are eating and digesting sugars to excrete better biofuels. I guess that's better living through bugs. Alan Kay is famous for saying the best way to predict the future is to invent it. And of course, at Kleiner, we kind of apologize and say the second best way is to finance it. And that's why we're investing $200 million in a wide range of really disruptive new technologies for innovation in green technologies. And we're encouraging others to do it as well. We're talking a lot about this. In 2005, there was $600 million invested in new technologies of the sort you see here. It doubled in 2006 to $1.2 billion. But I'm really afraid we need much, much more. For reference, fact one, Exxon's revenues in 2005 were $1 billion a day. Do you know they only invested 0.2% of revenues in R&D? Second fact, the president's new budget for renewable energy is barely $1 billion in total. Less than 1 day of Exxon's revenues. Third fact, I bet you didn't know that there's enough energy in hot rocks under the country to supply America's energy needs for the next 1,000 years. And the federal budget calls for a measly $20 million of R&D in geothermal energy. It is almost criminal that we are not investing more in energy research in this country. And I'm really afraid that it's absolutely not enough. So in a year's worth of learning, we found a bunch of surprises. Who would have thought that a mass retailer could make money by going green? Who would have thought that a database entrepreneur could transform California with legislation? Who would have thought that the ethanol biofuel miracle would come from a developing country in South America? And who would have thought that scientists trying to cure malaria could come up with breakthroughs in biofuels? And who would have thought that all that is not enough? Not enough to stabilize the climate, not enough to keep the ice in Greenland from crashing into the ocean. The scientists tell us, and they're only guessing, that we've got to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 1/2 and do it as fast as possible. Now, we may have the political will to do this in the US, but I got to tell you, we've got only one atmosphere. And so somehow we're going to have to find the political will to do this all around the world. The wild card in this deck is China. To size the problem, China's CO2 emissions today are 3.3 gigatons. The US is 5.8. Business as usual means we'll have 23 gigatons from China by 2050. That's about as much CO2 as there is in the whole world. And if it's business as usual, we're going out of business. When I was in Davos, China's mayor of Dalian was pressed about their CO2 strategy. And he said the following, you know, Americans use 7 times the CO2 per capita as Chinese. Then he asked, why should China sacrifice our growth so that the West can continue to be profligate and stupid? Does anybody here have an answer for him? I don't. We've got to make this economic so that all people and all nations make the right outcome, the profitable outcome, and therefore the likely outcome. Energy is a $6 trillion business worldwide. It is the mother of all markets. You remember that internet? Well, I'll tell you what, green technologies, going green is bigger than the internet. It could be the biggest economic opportunity of the 21st century. Moreover, if we succeed, it's going to be the most important transformation for life on the planet since, as Bill Joy says, we went from methane to oxygen in the atmosphere. Now, here's the hard question. If the trajectory of all the world's companies and individuals and policies and innovation is not going to be enough, what are we going to do? I don't know. Everyone here cares about changing the world and has made a difference in that one way or another. So our call to action, my call to you, is for you to make going green your next big thing, your gig. What can you do? You can personally get carbon neutral. Go to climatecrisis.org or carboncalculator.com and buy carbon credits. You could join other leaders in mandating, lobbying for mandated cap and trade in US greenhouse gas reductions. There's 6 bills right now in Congress. Let's get one of them passed. The most important thing you could do, I think, is to use your personal power and your Rolodex to lead your business or your institution in going green. Do it like Walmart. Get it to go green for its customers and its suppliers and for itself. Really think outside the box. Can you imagine what it would be like if Amazon or eBay or Google or Microsoft or Apple really went green and you caused that to happen? It could be bigger than Walmart. I can't wait to see what we TEDsters do about this crisis. And I really, really hope that we multiply all of our energy, all of our talent, and all of our influence to solve this problem. Because if we do, I can look forward to the conversation I'm going to have with my daughter in 20 years.
刚刚这一段是一个重要而且动人的一段简短的演讲。他要告诉我们的理由，这个理论我们都很清楚了，只是里头有很多的数据我们可能不清楚。我把一些数据让大家知道一下它的可能性。我自己的公司最近替味全公司设计了1层楼的办公室。他的董事长告诉我说，可不可以试试看，每一次替他们做设计的时候，都设法节省能源。他用的名词叫做节能减碳。一个老办公室，一个简单的装修工程，我怎么样节能减碳呢？所以我尝试了一个方法，我把他们的电灯的照明设法设计看看有没有办法利用我们已经有的知识，不需要再去做什么新东西，我们就把能源减低下来。最近装修做完了，昨天我跑去看，我们大概可以把他们另外1层楼也是我设计的，它的天花板的照明跟现在的这1层楼同样是我设计的，在单位面积的这个用电量上面，我们减低了70%，不是减低30%。我们怎么做到？各位都晓得一个公式，叫做桌上的照度跟距离的平方成反比。所以如果你把灯放在那么高，像我们这个教室，我们把它放在那么高，跟我把灯放在这么低，这个距离，那边的距离如果是单位是10，这个距离很可能单位是变成2，所以10的平方跟2的平方的反比，它就是差很多了。所以我们用一个非常简单的方法，就是把灯降低，把灯降低，让每一个人变成灯就在他的桌上这么高的地方。因为降低，所以他又可以得到另外一个好处，那个好处我们现在还没有算，就是他要下班或离开桌子的时候，那个其实基本上等于一个台灯从天上掉下来，他位置上的台灯，他可以直接把那一盏灯就关掉。所以是不是那个还有一个节省的机会？所以我们没有做太多事情，我们只做了一件事情，把灯降低，就这么简单。因为灯降低，我在桌上的照度，在他工作范围的桌上的照度可以超过500个 lux， 但是在整体上面，我们的整个用电量已经节省了70%。空调还没有减，因为空调一个旧房子，我们还不知道怎么去减它的空调用量。不过无论如何，它就是一个努力。他刚刚说企业的力量是很大的，也就是说，因为企业现在通常规模都很大，其实学校的规模也很大。我们如果很认真的在想说，任何一个机构，它都要想把自己的任何一个动作都让它变成对地球的伤害减少，那你并没有那么难呢，绝对没有那么难啊。所以他刚刚最后有一点点说不出来话的意思是说，他不知道他有没有机会在20年以后回答他的女儿说，爸爸的时代把地球弄坏，但是我很努力的设法把它救回来。他答不出来的原因是因为他知道他可能没有机会去讲这句话，因为这个问题太大。那个问题跟我们刚刚谈到的那个曲线是同一个问题，我们用掉了未来时代的资源，就这么简单。所以他说，预测未来最好的方法是去创造它。那个是彼得·杜拉克在有一本自己的书的序里面，他也这么说。他说 ：“The best way to predict the future is to create it。” 最好的预测未来的方法就是你去创造它。那他因为是一个投资家，所以他刚刚讲说，他开玩笑说，但是第二好的方法呢，预测好未来的方法，第二好的方法不是创造它，你去投资它。其实这个就是任何的政府、企业，包括我们自己，我们要预测未来，最简单的方法就是投资它。那投资在他的身上，自然会看到他的改变。所以他说，现在他以美国政府做例子，他说美国政府拿去研究地下能源，就是这地下的热能的这种能源，总共才$2000万。他说那个是犯罪行为，因为你其实可以把很多需要花在石油上的东西拿来放在这里，你自然就很快的有这些资源可以用。为什么？因为很多的石油公司在反对的。那石油公司反对，政府就做不到，就没有钱做这个事情。所以他说这个是 criminal， 就是犯罪的行为。那透过这个简短的演讲，我们想要让大家去了解的是说，这个问题其实很大，但是这个问题是需要靠很多很多的小努力去把它凑起来。巴西一个那么经济上没有办法算是一个重要的国家，他都可以靠他的一个政府的决心说，我们巴西土地这么大，我们开始来种这个玉米，然后这个玉米呢，把它变成这个提炼出油来，然后让汽车就开玉米油的车，不要去开石油车。他每一年可以少付给中东国家$590亿，这个是很大的数字。所以这里头他也告诉我们一些我们平常不太会想的事情。我们有必要开着一个2吨的金属跟玻璃做成的东西，跑到超市去，然后买回来一个塑胶罐，里面装了斐济就是一个很远地方的这个有很新鲜的水，然后拿来，就有点像我现在这样做的事情嘛，好像没有必要。所以他说，我们知不知道我们每一个动作到底它的成本是什么？举例来说，今天早上我从高铁下来，我看到一个招牌，上面写说搭高铁减少二氧化碳的排放，那是事实。我如果开车下来，我大概二氧化碳排放贡献很大。那所以他说，二氧化碳绝对不是免费的。那就像刚刚你提的那个例子，一直被我拿来做举例，非常谢谢你。其实你要永远知道，你的时间不是免费的，你是拿你的未来去换的。你拿你的未来去换那个看连续剧的舒服。所以如果你没有把那个看的东西里头，因为一面在娱乐，同时学会，比如说你说啊，我要学英文，如果你没有同时把英文让它更进步，或者是没有同时让自己更进步一点，去学到说，那他怎么说故事，他怎么运镜，他怎么剪接，如果没有利用那个娱乐的时候，顺便把这个也赚回来，你那个娱乐就真的是投资你的未来给电视看戏剧的这个舒服，只有这样而已，那是很不值得。所以 CO2 不是免费，我也要跟各位同学说，你的时间也不是免费。你一天有86400秒，从我们上课到现在，如果你没有很专心在听，你已经浪费了你生命里头的好几个钟头。我自己做了一个小小的，一方面是游戏，也一方面也是一个警惕。我印了500本这样的东西，我拿来做我的笔记本。我告诉我的同仁说，我500本用完，我大概1个礼拜会用1本。我说我500本用完，我就退休了。大家就想说啊，哪有那么快？可他不知道500本用完叫做10年，因为你觉得这个没什么，就像你觉得你的时间没什么一样，就像我们觉得二氧化碳给它排出去会怎样？ 每一个人做小小的一件事情，大概不会怎样，加起来会很严重。所以他这边也说到 ，Walmart 如果能够卖出去1亿个省电灯泡，美国1年省下来的电费就会有6亿。所以他说公司的力量很大，公司的力量大到 Walmart 决定说，我们把我们所有的机构通通现有的要省20%，这个新的建筑要比现在省30%。我想那些如果他都能够做到，事实上很多人看了就会很吃惊。我相信我们帮味全公司做到那个省电的方法，如果很多人知道说可以省那么多电，他大概会把那个习惯改过来，因为大家都觉得这个在天上比较不碍我事，可是就是为了舒服，我们就浪费很多那些事情，我想是没有必要的。那设计在这里面的重要是说，当我们把灯拉下来的时候，我们怎么样让大家在不习惯甚至是不舒服的时候，透过设计的手法让他感觉也还不错，那个就是设计的能力，就是让他觉得说好像还不错。这就是为什么以前美国人开车都要开很大的车，很浪费，那现在小车要让他觉得感觉也还蛮舒服，这个就是设计的人的功能。所以我想这个是一个刚刚看的时候我边做笔记边跟大家分享的一些重点。